My name's Andrew Jervis, co-founder and CEO of ClickMechanic. ClickMechanic is an online marketplace for automotive repair that's bringing trust and transparency to the industry. Every year in the UK alone there's £19 billion spent on automotive repair, but it's an industry fraught with all sorts of problems. So if you look at all sorts of industry reports or speak to the average car owner, they'll tell you when they go to a garage they don't really know how much they should be paying. They feel like they get ripped off. So we're trying to make it really transparent about how much you should be paying. The whole automotive repair industry is full of millions of data points from multiple sources. These data points are around how long a particular make, model, mark of car for a particular repair would take. There's multiple data points on parts prices. There's loads of data points on regional average labour rates. So what we're doing is we're bringing all this data together. There's loads of holes in the data as well. So first of all, we need to cleanse it. We've got some algorithms that will then fill the gaps. We'll do some machine learning. And then what we're able to do is make an industry standard quote for a consumer so they can feel that they can trust coming through ClickMechanic and getting a quote, because they know it's not a figure that's been plucked out of thin air. It's a figure that's actually based on hard concrete industry standards, and that's bringing that trust and transparency to the industry. We do vet the mechanics, so we get a number of inbound applications every day, and we'll speak to those mechanics, we'll interview them, we'll find out about their work history, their accreditations, their insurance, and make sure they're a good fit for the network. And if they are, we'll introduce them in, get them signed up, and away we go. Once a mechanic comes onto the network, we're really picky about who stays in the network. So it's super easy for customers and people who own cars to come online, get a quote, book in with a trusted and vetted mechanic, and it's really easy for mechanics to get extra work. And yeah, we bring the two sides together under one marketplace. It starts way back, quite a few years ago actually. So I originally was doing some banking and did some travelling, and when I came back I wanted to start my own business. So actually found there was thousands of people searching for wheel trims and hubcaps on the internet, so created a drop ship kind of e-commerce site working with some franchise dealers. This scaled up to a nice lifestyle business, but it's very hard to scale up really large, and at this time I was looking at some other bigger, wider issues in the industry, and with my brother being a mechanic and owning a workshop, it was really valuable insight to chat to him, and through reading industry reports, talking to him, found out there was some big problems in the industry. So I undertook a master's thesis in the space and applied to Entrepreneur First, got accepted to Entrepreneur First, and met my co-founder Felix, who could see the clear problems that existed in this space. So we teamed up and we got going and did lots more market validation, speaking to customers, speaking to mechanics, building an MVP, and then slowly and surely kind of growing our customer base and doing some bookings and growing that. We were in Entrepreneur First during, when we found out about the Venture Capitalist Challenge, and it sounded great. It was bringing multiple sort of student teams and alumni teams together, give them some training, which culminated in pitching to VCs and some seriously experienced entrepreneurs, which is it's always a great testing ground to find out if you're on the right track. And got through to the final, where we were up against, I think it was 5 other really great teams who we're still in contact with today. And yeah, fortunately we came out the other side and we won, and it was an awesome experience, and we learnt a lot about ourselves and about ClickMechanic doing that. But I think Venture Capitalist Challenge is awesome for kind of pre-validating your idea, starting to build those relationships with possible co-founders. Yeah, Entrepreneur First is like an amazing scheme. The talent they recruit was unreal, like so many amazing technical people and some awesome business people. You kind of select your kind of co-founders based on how good you think they are and how good you kind of fit together. And then you just get going and you just got to go for it, and more often than not the fits work out really well. There's a certain amount of trialing and testing and working with people that you can do to see who you think would be a good fit for you, and then it's about trusting your gut and going for it, and really giving it your best shot. What Entrepreneur First and VCC enabled you to do was to kind of get those experiences, kind of put you in those positions and understand what it was about, and almost sink or swim really. If you wanted advice and help, you could ask for it. If you wanted an introduction to someone, you could get it. And then there'd be workshops where they would teach you kind of some things by the book. But I don't think there's any substitute for learning by doing, and both of those programs give you an excellent opportunity to do that. After we won VCC, it was actually a really interesting time for us. But I think it definitely helped validate us, because from that we were able to go out and spoke to other VCs or investors, and we ended up getting a few different offers of investment. We ended up working with the money we had with VCC and another angel who came on board, who was a former director of Auto Trader, so great for our marketplace, our vertical. And yeah, we just put our heads down and kept growing, and we've been growing kind of around about 20% every month since.
When did you realize you had a business?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think there's two answers. I think the first is instinctively. Personally, I always thought there was a huge business in what we were doing. It's a huge marketplace, it's huge value in the industry, and there's some big problems and they need to be solved. And there's always a point in a business's kind of life where something happens which gets you quite excited and you think, wow, this could happen. I remember maybe just 2 weeks into when we started Entrepreneur First, we built our MVP, a very simple website, and we got some like AdWords vouchers, and one Friday kind of afternoon, late afternoon, we were like, oh, let's put a few AdWords campaigns live, see what happens. This will be quite exciting. And remember, we went out with some beer, went out with some friends, had some beers, and next Saturday morning, we're like, let's have a look, let's see what happened. We're like, whoa, 3 people like tried to place bookings and went through to our payment page. That's just insane. So it was at that point, it was like, wow, actually people want to pay for this and part with our hard-earned cash.